Hi, I'm Drew Lewis Kelly.
And I'm Eli Richmond reporting for the Lobby Observer. A consistent pattern continues in Westboro athletics in which middle schoolers are increasingly choosing private school over Westboro High. We are also seeing high school students transfer to private schools from Westboro.
Lobby Observer reporter Jackson Katz caught up with the athletic director Joanna DiCarlo to discuss the impact on Westboro sports and student athletes.
I'm Jackson Katz reporting for the Lobby Observer, and I'm here with Westboro Athletic Director Joanna DiCarlo. How do you think athletes attending private schools has impacted our Westboro sports teams?
Yeah, I think with any school, to lose a few athletes that are being able to make an impact at another school certainly hurts some of our teams. I know over the years we've had student athletes that have attended junior programs, that have gone to certainly St. John's, some of the Worcester schools, and we always would love to have them here in our programs, but sometimes we're just unable to keep them here. So
Yeah.
I can specifically remember Evan Cummings from a few years ago that had aspirations to go play high-level Division I basketball, and him and his family thought that his opportunities to go to a prep school and then be seen by those Division I college coaches was going to make a big difference in his family, and it ended up working out for him. You know, he ended up having a great career
Yeah.
at Harvard, and it's a possibility that he wouldn't have gotten those same opportunities if he stayed here at Westboro.
Yeah. How do you think, as a school and a community, we can help attract more junior high athletes?
I think our participation numbers, believe it or not, have stayed really stable over the last few years. So I'm not sure that we need to attract necessarily more. I do think that kids are going to make their choices to go where they want to go for various reasons. I do think it's important for kids to understand, though, that they have to figure out what their goals are early. And if playing at a high level or trying to get scholarship money to play is your goal, you can still accomplish that here at high school, at Westboro High School, and not having to go to a private program or to a prep school program. We've had plenty of kids that have gone on to have great careers at all three levels of Division I, II, and III NCAA college athletics. But I think people in Westboro sometimes don't look at all the options. I know
Yeah.
that you're someone right now that's probably potentially looking at playing next year, and Division III, Division II are great opportunities for our kids to continue to play.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to always be chasing that scholarship, which I think some kids think they really want to do when they're making that decision between which high school to come to or whether or not to go to a private school.
Yeah, I totally agree. Why do you think more kids, such as the Rams and the Sullivans, have been leaving in recent years?
Yeah, I think that is their desire to go play at a high level after they leave high school. And as I mentioned before, I never want to tell a kid that's not a good idea. I mean, I think kids and families have every right to try and figure out what's best for their situation. But I do want everyone out there to know that you can still accomplish those things while staying in a public high school.
Yeah.
Plenty of kids go on and have great careers all over the place. But certainly, like I said before, I would never want to tell somebody to not pursue their dreams or to not pursue a path that they think is right for their family.
Just a different kind of question. What do you think about private schools such as St. John's playing in public school leagues?
Yeah, I mean, this is the great debate. I know it's been happening in high school sports for years and years and years, and I do a lot of work at the MIAA, and it comes up every year. Those schools need to play somewhere, and the reality is right now we don't have enough of them, and enough like-sized ones of them to give them their own tournaments.
Especially around here.
Especially around here, but does it hurt? Yeah, it stinks sometimes that those schools are drawing from all different communities and basically getting all-star teams every year in and year out. We're lucky enough that we're probably a division lower than them in most sports, so we're not having to face them in the MIA tournament, and we've basically taken them off a lot of our schedules because we're just not matching up with them the way that we used to and the way that we want to. So, I do think that, again, that is a great school option for some families. Some families really want a Catholic education or really want a charter school education or whatever it is, and I'm happy that they have those choices. But when it does come down to playing against those teams, I can see why people would have hard feelings and say it's just not fair. They're able to pull together the best of the best from around here, and public high schools such as ours, where we're one high school, not regional.
Yeah.
We're playing
exactly.
with who lives in town, and that's pretty much it.
Yep.
But I'll take our situation and our kids and our school community and the families that we have here over any of those other situations any day.
Yep, I agree. Lastly, what advice would you give to an 8th grader looking to go to private school instead of Westboro?
I really think it really comes down to a family decision. I think they need to decide where their value system lies. Again, some people are looking for that Catholic education or specific genre of education that maybe we don't offer here. Finances definitely that play into it. I know that, even myself, I was a 3-sport public school kid, but I did look at Phillips Academy Andover. And for me, it really came down to finances. My parents basically said, we'll either pay for high school or pay for college, or pay for both. So I think finances are a big part of it. I do think the single-gendered thing, whether or not you want to be in an all-boys school, an all-girls school, or a mixed-gender school. So there's a lot of factors that I think do contribute. Can you get your kid there? Can you, some of these kids have to commute quite a bit, especially up in the North Shore when you talk about St. John's Prep and Severian and places like that.
Or boarding.
Yeah, kids are traveling quite a bit to get there every day, and can families commit to that? So I really do believe that it's got to be a strong family decision as to what the goals of that education are and how they can accomplish them.
Thank you.
Yeah, very much. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jackson. Now Jared Franchos had a chance to talk with Westboro hockey captain Cam Pelkey on the upcoming season and the impact the departure of certain players will have on the team.
Hi, I'm Jared Franchos with the Lobby Observer, here with Cam Pelkey, member of the 2019 Westboro hockey team. And I just have a couple questions regarding the status of the team with the leaving of certain players to other schools and stuff. So let's hop right in. So I was wondering, how do you think the team's going to do this year with the loss of certain players going to like private schools and other places?
Yeah, I mean, we did lose a lot, but we have some players who have been in the organization for a long time now. We have a heavy junior class, me and a few other seniors. So we have a lot of experience, but we just gotta, the guys who didn't play last year have to step up, and we have a chance to be decent, and we have to play as a team. No beef in the locker room, and just.
All right. How would you say that the team chemistry could be kind of thrown off with the loss of certain players that maybe you've been playing with for a long time, and then as they leave for other schools, do you think that might make a disruption in the locker room, just like not knowing the players?
I don't think so. I mean, everyone on the team gets along pretty well. Like, I think like, I don't think it's gonna have a huge effect on us as far as continuity goes. Talent-wise, we're not as talented as we were last year, but I certainly don't think that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. Do you think that even with the loss of a lot of the new players, do you think the hockey team does have the chance to do as good as it's done in previous years, or do you think there might be a drop-off?
Well, I think record-wise, we're playing against some weaker opponents this year, so we could have a good record. Playing against some tough teams too, and we just gotta start off strong and go from there.
And one last question. I was just wondering, do you think there'd be any way to maybe, if possible, try to keep some of the kids at the Westboro hockey team, or do you think that they're just going to make their own decisions regardless of like what the team and what others think?
Oh yeah, that's a big question, because as far as like playing college hockey, the only way to play college hockey is to play either junior hockey or go to prep school. Like, it's a common like misconception that like once you go to prep school, these junior teams, that you're gonna play college hockey. It's really hard. Like, you really need to play for the top junior teams, or you have to be like the top scorer in the prep school team to have a chance. I mean, if you know you're good enough and you want to spend that money, go ahead. But like, why not just play with the kids you grew up with your whole life?
All right, good answer. Well, thank you, Mr. Pelkey, for letting me interview you. Good luck with this year's hockey season.
Thank you. Thanks, Jared. Former Westboro hockey players and twin brother Cam and Luke Sullivan recently made the decision to transfer to St. Mark's after their sophomore year. Jackson caught up with them on their decision to leave Westboro for private school.
Thanks, Eli. I'm Jackson Katz, reporting for the Lobby Observer, and I'm here with Luke Sullivan, former Westboro student and hockey player. Why'd you decide to leave Westboro, Luke?
I decided to leave Westboro just because I wanted to play hockey at a higher level. St. Mark's could do that for me, and that's why I decided to leave.
How different is the skill level, like in practices and games?
It's a lot different. It's definitely a lot different. Like, just like, to put it in perspective, like, there's a kid on my team, like, his name's Ian Moore, like, he's like a projected like NHL draft pick. And it's just like, you're playing against kids who are like going to Division I colleges, and like, when you're playing at Westboro, like, there's kids like not even, most of them are going D3, so it's just like a lot different. Skill level's definitely a lot better.
So you're getting better looks and
Exactly. It's like
Because
more
the
people
same
watching
looks.
the games, like definitely.
so what are your future plans for hockey?
I definitely want to play in college, preferably Division One. But yeah, I definitely want to play in college.
That's nice. What would you say Westboro can do as a school to get more kids to stay?
I mean that's a hard one because like I don't really think that that it's Westboro's fault. Like in my opinion, like it's just like more kids are going to prep schools, going private, so it's just like different. Like it's not like Westboro can't really do anything because it's like for me, I didn't want to leave Westboro hockey because of like anything on a team, like nothing like that. It was literally just because like there's better kids in different leagues. So it's like if Westboro as like one can't really do a lot, it's more about the collective group and like what they can do to keep players and like keep it more competitive and playing at a higher level.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Good luck to those two in their athletic careers at St. Mark's.
Well, that's all for now. I'm Drew Lewis Kelly.
I'm Eli Richmond, reporting for the Lobby Observer from Westboro TV.